That's what I'm talking about. Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
I know. Friday, I'm all messed up too, guys. You guys are like, what the hell is going on? It's not Thursday. Yes, that's right. Special Friday night edition tonight of That Fuzz and Rock Show, folks. Good evening. It's nice to see you guys out there hanging out. And hopefully you guys are heading down to Empire Live tonight for Black Sabbath is downstairs. And upstairs, I think, is Bowling for Soup or something like that. So hopefully you guys are getting down there, get your have your Friday night fun. For us, however, of course, we're stuck inside. So what do? We go live. So here's what we're doing, guys. We're doing a one of the interviews from the special. What would we call this? The special Nippertown project, I guess, that we're doing. Nippertown is bringing you guys interviews from all 7 bands from the Brick by Brick Tour kickoff party, which is Friday, July 8th at Empire Live, featuring LA's own Cutthroat. You got Powerhouse from Oakland, California. Violent by Design, locals here. Oakheart, Breathless by Dawn, Concrete, which you're going to be talking to in a couple minutes via recording. We recorded it already, so. And of course, the Mighty Brick by Brick will be there, and that will be a live interview July 5th, coming to you from the Bull and Bee. Nippertown will bring you a huge interview with Mike and Ray and whoever else decides to stop by, because it is a meadery. It is an open place of business. So you want to come hang out for the interview? Come on down. Bull and Bee Meadery down in down Albany. You guys come hang out with us while we attempt to do an interview whilst drinking mead. Well, I won't be, but I'm sure the crew will. So we'll see what happens there. So tonight I have a recorded interview with the band Concrete, local faves here. But I also have a pair of tickets to give away. So what I ask of you folks is, if you guys are interested in tickets to this Brick by Brick extravaganza, which will be again Friday, July 8th, Empire Live. Or is it on the Underground? One or the other. It'll be in that building somewhere. Just go where the loud stuff is. You guys will find it, I'm sure, just fine. So if you guys want a pair of tickets, all you have to do is type in the comments, I want to go. Or give me tickets, or F you, Fuzzy. I don't care what you put down. Just put down something that has to do with the tickets. I want to go. I want tickets. Whatever that is. And I will put you in the running for them. Maybe we'll spin the wheel at the end of the show. We'll see what happens. But if you guys want tickets, in the chat now, I want to go, or I want tickets, something to that effect. So what we'll do is we're going to bring you guys the interview from Concrete. And after that, we'll come back on and we will see who's got the tickets. Ready, set. All right, degenerates, we got another great interview for you guys. Local guys here. Amazing band. We're going to bring them in now. Please welcome to the show Ryan, John, Lenny, and Drew, Concrete. Boys, welcome to the show. Nice to have you guys here. Thank you for taking time to hang out with us today.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you, sir. So much.
Yeah, we're my pleasure, believe me. So I mean, let's not waste any time. Let's dig right into it. I gotta put the glasses on because I'm getting old and blind. I can't read what the fuck I wrote. So let's dig right in, boys. So how long have you guys been together as a band?
That just came up recently.
Yeah. We've Lenny and I started back in 2010 and recorded a demo over that time, started playing shows in 2011. And then Ryan came on a few years later, and he's been with us throughout the time. And then we actually just got Drew over the summer. with Austin on the other guitar. Drew's playing bass. So they're fairly new, but probably the most solid or concrete lineup that we've had.
Nice. I like what you did there. So this isn't the original lineup, right?
This is not the original lineup. Lenny and I are the original members, but it's been long standing with Ryan, and yeah.
Now, how'd you guys originally get together? How did you and Lenny get that started?
So I had started the idea of a new band with a drummer that I was talking to, and he said, "Hey, I know this guy, you know, probably be interested in playing guitar." And I was like, "Perfect. Let's let's talk to him. Let's bring him in." And that was John. And as soon as I met John, the drummer just kind of decided he didn't want to do it. He didn't have the time. And me and John just kind of like latched onto each other at that point, because we really just both had like the same vision, the same goal in mind, which was, hey, we're doing this daily grind, like working and everything. And we both really wanted to play and write music as much as we could. So we had that one common thing that we had invested, all of our free time was really invested into this. So that's really what kind of cemented our relationship from there. That, and, we both have just really like the same music, movies, video games, penis jokes, the whole thing has been just, a harmonious coming together, if you will, so.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the cement with the cement?
Yeah.
Everything, right?
A lot
Yes.
of construction puns in this one.
So, I mean, that's a perfect lead into my next question, though, is how did you guys get the name Concrete?
That was all Lenny.
Yeah, so honestly, I think that it really just kind of came up quick, and if I could go back, I'd probably change it, because there's it's been a ride with that name, because there's so many bands with concrete in front of it that we've actually every year there's new ones that come up, and we keep a list of them, because we're hoping to have like a giant concrete fest one day, with Concrete Blonde headlining and Concrete Ties and us, somewhere in the middle, I think, would be kind of funny. But really, so it's just like, it's something that kept popping up for me. One of my favorite Fear Factory records is titled Concrete. Mm-hmm. And then it also came through to me with Primal Concrete Sledge from Pantera. So it's just one of those words that just kind of stuck out to me by itself. And before John was even there, I was just texting back and forth with this kid that was going to play drums. And it was legitimately like a 15-minute thing. I was like, let's name it Concrete. And he was like, okay. So that's really the backstory to that.
So now when you have your concrete festival, this is just a question. Mm-hmm. Would you consider having bands with asphalt in their name?
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Cement, even brick by brick, because we can't do it without them.
Well, then that's a building materials fest.
Yeah, exactly. Materials. Yeah. Yep.
Nails, bolt thrower.
Yeah, nails.
Bolt thrower. Now sponsored by Lowe's or Home Depot. Yeah. Pockets. Come on, boys.
Yeah,
I want 10%.
They did just build a deck together, so
contract for 2023.
If you guys use that idea, I want 10%, man. If Lowe's breaks their pocketbooks open.
Got you.
Now, do you guys remember your first gig? And I'm talking as a whole, as the group right now. Do you guys remember the first gig that you guys played together as
our lineup is now?
Correct.
Yeah. What was that? That was Barncore.
Barncore, Newton, New Jersey.
Pennsylvania.
It was Jersey, buddy.
Jersey, right?
Yeah, it was New Jersey.
Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jersey.
September 10th, we played this show in a barn. It was formerly I want to say a dairy barn, really, because you could see kind of like the old like slots where cows would be. This is sounding strange, but it was just a fucking great show.
Yeah.
Really tight knit group that we were asked to play with. Psycho Enhancer was like the heaviest fucking performance I've ever seen that night. Really great people. It was kind of like a big cookout. It's gonna happen again this September.
Yeah, it was great. They even had their kids. They had like mini bikes. They had a bounce house. They had a big projector for a theater. It was just like, it was a show, but it was like the ultimate friends and family
festival.
Yeah.
Private event, but as long as you can clear it and have somebody vouch you're gonna be a good dude. It was tons of fun.
Yeah, we got to play with Billy Club Sandwich too, which is my favorite
Billy
hardcore
Club Sandwich, Departed.
They killed it, man.
Yeah.
So you guys had this fucking absolutely killer show coming up on Empire Live July 8th. You're talking, it's the Brick by Brick tour kickoff party. Cutthroat, LA, of course, from LA. Oakland Hardcore Powerhouse. Violent by Design. You guys, Oakheart, Breathless by Dawn, and of course, the mighty Brick by Brick. And that's sponsored by Nippertown, which is kind of cool. That's kind of where I come into this whole thing. But we'll talk more about that later. But I wanted to get it out there and just mention it real quick. But so let's talk about what you guys have been up to the last couple years, anyways. So pandemic, that happened, obviously. How did that affect you guys as a band?
I mean, we it was tough to release a record during the pandemic, but we didn't know how long it was going to last. We didn't want to sit on it forever, and we wanted to move on to other things. So it was a little tough to get that traction, to put something out and to not be able to play shows behind it was real difficult. But on the plus side, we got a lot of writing done, and we kind of figured out what we want to do as a band, where we want to go, and even grabbing on a couple new members. Drew and Austin have kind of really upped our game, performance wise, writing wise. Everybody's pushing each other musically. So we actually scrapped a whole bunch of songs because by the time we got down to it, they weren't up to the level anymore. So we want to make sure that what we put out is the hardest, craziest stuff that we've done. You got to step it up every time. So that's what we've been working on. And hopefully we should be recording this fall. So.
Yeah, a lot of writing, a lot of just pushing ourselves like individually as musicians as well. I think that's going to show on the next record too.
Were you guys able to get like practices in, or were you kind of on hiatus for a little while?
We did a lot of sending, like video clips and sound clips back and forth. Because we couldn't get together. I have some autoimmune diseases, so we didn't really want to risk anything getting together. So it was a lot of sending things back and forth. But honestly, in the years prior to that, we hadn't had a practice spot, so it wasn't necessarily something new that we were doing with that. And then we were able to get a great practice spot at Lenny's house, and that kind of changed everything because it's real easy to get in there. We don't have to worry about access to it. It's easy for everybody to get to. He's kind of centrally located. Extra so for Drew because he moved in a couple doors down from him, so it's concrete street.
He lives 3 houses down. We practice 3 houses down from my house. So.
3 doors down. Shout out.
3 doors down.
So now, did anybody wind up getting this shitty disease, or
I just got it like a month and a half ago for the first time. Was out. I only missed maybe 5 or 6 days of work, but yeah, pretty sick. I lost my sense of taste and smell, but yeah, I got it most recently. I think anyone in here, but I did not have it for 2 years. He
I
had
think that
it.
was the weirdest thing about it was
Yep.
the loss of taste and smell. It's like
Yeah, it was
that's
rough.
the oddest. That's the oddest feeling to lose that.
Yeah, even anticipating it, it still was like very strange. And I remember just trying to tell myself like, you will get it back. It'll like I'll be able to taste things again.
Yeah, I got it, and it's funny because I have a wife and 2 kids. One's 4, one's 8 now, and it was me and my oldest daughter that got it first. And I went in and got one of the PCR tests, and it came back negative. And I was still sick. I was sick for like a week and a half, and I think it was like 3 or 4 days in, I got the test, and it said I was negative. I was like, oh, so it must be the flu. And then I remember I cracked open this cold Gatorade, and I took a sip of it, and I was like, oh, fuck, this tastes like water. So I told my wife, I said, give me one of those, those fucking rapid tests. So she gives it to me, and it instantly was like, no, you got it. And my daughter had it, and then my wife immediately after got it. So it was a shit show. It skipped over my 4-year-old. She got lucky. I don't even know how. I think it's because she'll eat candy off the floor in Target, so she's immune to anything. So we just, everything passes right over her, which is funny. So, but yeah, we went through a good amount of hell for like 2 weeks with that shit.
Yeah.
So let's get into your music, because I've been looking on. You guys are on Bandcamp. If you guys are looking for Concrete's music, you guys can go to concretehc.bandcamp.com. You'll find a large list of stuff there. So starting from 2011, if I'm correct, if Bandcamp's correct, Expire Faster was the first release.
Yep, that was off the demo. I think that was one of the ones left off the demo. Yeah.
Followed by Deadlock.
Yep.
And then you guys did a split with Hammerfist.
Yeah, that was a good one.
2014. No Dawn in 2016. Everything Ends Now in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And then Free Us from Existence in 2020 was the latest release you guys have had.
Yep.
So let's talk about that one. We'll talk about Free Us from Existence. Now, are all these still available on Bandcamp? Are they sold out? Are they?
So the label we're on for digital distribution, you can buy it off of Bandcamp digitally, and that'll go straight to us, but it doesn't allow us to play it free on there. I think everything else is available digitally. Just our merch store is no longer on there.
No, I saw everything was sold out there. I was going to recommend, if you guys do like get more merch, just remember the Fat Guys, man. 5X, bro. Just remember the Fat Guys.
Wow, we only got the 3X.
See, that's bad, man. You got it.
We gotta put it down for the big guys, because my one of my best friends, he's the 5X guy too, and he also he gets mad. He's like, come on, man, come on. I'm the guy. You got to get me a shirt. So yeah, we'll do a couple 5X.
Yeah.
We'll send one your way for
Gotcha.
sure.
Yeah.
I have this fun argument going on with a friend of mine who is in a band. They have merch and shit like that. And I'm like, come on, man, you got to get the fat guy size. He's like, you need to fucking lose weight, you fat fuck. I'm like, no, you need to fucking buy more merch, you fucking stingy prick. Like, we just go back and forth. We're laughing our asses off. But
Those 5X slim fit shirts.
That's it.
right?
Say I'm beautiful the way I am, you bitch.
I'll wear a medium. I'll wear a medium, but you ain't gonna like what you see. Let's just put it that way.
Tell you what, it's crop top season, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna judge.
Nobody wants that, trust me. So let's talk about Free Us from Existence. When did you guys when was that recorded?
Free Us from Existence, we recorded in sorry, I've lost the thing here. In February of 2020 with Shane Frisbee, Brick Hit House out in Cape Cod. Right before everything shut down. I think like 2 weeks later, everything shut down.
Yeah, as soon as we got done, it was right before lockdown, and it just happened to be,
Wow.
it was I did not plan that when I named the record "Free Us from Existence." Just so you know, it had nothing to do with it. It was, it just happened to be a coincidence. But yeah, as soon as we got done, the world shut down. But we were lucky that streaming had hit an all-time high, so we put our stuff out, and we don't see anything from streaming on Spotify. We're not going to get anything from that, but
Right.
just the idea that people were listening to it, and we had the first song we released was called "Executing Vengeance," and I remember just watching it, hoping it would hit 1K, and then it got to one of the, it got through the algorithm and was put on this nice, I think like death metal playlist on Spotify. And all of a sudden it was like just numbers. So that song, caught fire. It's at I think it's at 65K listens right now. So, so I was really excited about that people were actually listening to that. And, I had people hitting me up in different states like, man, I was listening to this song and the shit was crazy and I loved it. And then I looked at my phone and I realized it was you. I was like, yeah, that feels good. So, it feels good when people, listen to it, and appreciate it.
And this one got a wider reach too. I think we got the album to number 3 on Deezer in South Africa or something. But that was cool just to see that people were listening to it there, that people were listening to it in Europe. We had a lot of European feedback from it. And it was just a cool experience. So we got to outdo it on the next one.
Isn't that weird though? Because I know I can check my YouTube and the info for these shows that I do. And it's weird to see people are watching it in Hungary. And it's how the hell did you find me? How the hell did you find me? What, where they get you from? I wish I could figure that out because that's, obviously that's the key to the city. If you can figure out where they're finding you, you know exactly where to advertise, which is great.
Somebody Googled green goatee and they were like, oh, there it is.
It's a possibility, man. I should start putting that in. I should start putting that in the hashtags. That'd be a good idea, actually. So how long did it take to write that record? Was it fairly quick or?
I'd say it probably took about a couple of years. Because we started moving towards a more metallic sound on the record before that and started getting darker. And then this one, it was tough because we didn't have a place to practice. So we couldn't all get together and write together all the time. And I think we all, we're working on improving ourselves as musicians at the time. So it did take a while, but eventually, we started getting to more what we wanted, which, is much different from the earlier records.
Sure.
Which were, street punk hardcore, which was our roots. I mean, I started playing that, but, my big passion was always metal. Lenny's been playing in death metal bands forever, so it was cool to see these things come together and to start moving in that direction to something that we were really proud of.
Let's talk about your writing process now that we're talking about writing the records. Let's talk about you guys' writing process. Now, I guess the question is, how does an idea become a track and who does what in the process?
These guys smoke a lot of fucking weed.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Riffs, man.
We get together and we smoke and we'll riff around on guitar.
Yep.
Austin's been really great because he comes up with a lot of riffs that are the style that I'm playing now, and he pushes me and he comes up with other ideas. So when I have something in my mind that I can't articulate, he gets what I'm trying to do, and we can kind of feed off each other that way, which is really nice. Sometimes it's something just Lenny sending me a song going, listen to this and get inspired. And that's what it is. You know, I'll film a riff, send it to the group to listen to. Ryan will come up with crazy beats and go, "Hey, can you guys use this?" And Drew, I mean, he's kind of the backbone to it all. So, and he also brings in a different musical background as well.
I've sent voice memos to John where I like actually just, it's, you know, just like the Hard Times articles where it's like, you know, oh, shitty musician record something with his voice, and that's pretty much like where we have a song called Psychological Crucifixion, and that's pretty much where that riff came from. Is I told John, I said, I've had this thing stuck in my head. He's like, what is it? And I went, dun 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 da, 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 da. And he was like, okay, and just played this thing. You know, he refined it over time, of course, but that's where that came from. And we, you know, we sat in, you know, my kid's toy room, surrounded by toys all over the floor. Me and him sat there with the head rush pedal and a speaker, and just played stuff, layered it, and I would record it with my phone. So anything that we can do to, you know, anything that inspires us, as primitive as it is, we try to capture it, and then we just work from it from there, you know. And now we're at the point where if it's something that all of us don't go, yeah, that's nice. If one of us says, then we say fuck it and we scrap it, you know. So that's why it becomes more of a, you know, it becomes more of a process now, because, you know, we're challenging ourselves more than ever. Like John said, you know, with the just the pure talent that comes out of Austin, he just, you know, he'll just sit there and play shit, and I'm like, what the, you know, and I take my phone and I'm like, I record it. And he doesn't even know. He won't even remember 5 minutes later. And I send it to John, and he's like, oh, fuck, you know, and then turn it into something. So anything we can do, you know, that's inspired us.
And just being open-minded and being able to be critical and not, you know, offending. I feel like we can have honest conversations, and it's really important. But we've also focused on, like, doing scratch tracks and doing them well and having, like, real structure. And so John and I have had a couple of sessions that have been really, like, fun, but also like a lot of work, because I'm not someone who can do music production, but you know, like we can get some stuff down, and it's really important to like preserve ideas, and kind of what Lenny was saying, but be able to go back and pick up where you left off, because sometimes we move on from an idea and we go back to it and we're like, oh my God, that was really good. But just being able to preserve stuff and be like, yes, this transition is going to exist like this. And then it's going to go into like this breakdown or this interlude or this bridge or something. And like, we're actively doing that, you know, and it's just exciting. Like, it's just like a really good group that we have right now.
Yeah. The scratch tracks really help me right at home. I just come up with ideas on drums on the kit, and I can just replay the riffs over and over, sit there for hours, you know, all fucking day if I want, and come up with different ideas. So I'm trying to come up with some unique shit on this next release for sure.
And I mean, it's how we're trying to keep the quality up. We don't want to put out something that's kind of, you know, if all the songs are cool, but then there's like the one that's kind of like, we don't want that. So,
Right.
I mean, there's been plenty of times where, you know, I've liked a riff, but it's just not doing it for everybody. So we scrap it. There's been times where everybody loves a riff that I wrote and I think it's corny, and we've scrapped it because I don't like the riff that I wrote, you know, even though they all did. But it works really well because we trust everybody's musical background and taste. We all have the same vision.
Yep.
Ryan is slowly but surely turning into Derek Roddy too. He's like, he does the craziest shit. And like, you know, when we put out I remember we put out the video for Starving Serpent, and he does the gravity blast, and everyone was like, what the fuck did he just do? Because you know, a lot of the crowd that we, you know, kind of are, you know, reaching, they're not really familiar with seeing that kind of technique. And, you know, just the shit that he challenges himself to do is like, okay, So now we all have to keep
Yeah.
upping our game and
Yeah.
practicing and getting better, which, so that's,
Fuck yeah, man.
if you're not progressing, what the fuck are you doing? So
100%, absolutely. So let's talk influence. I'm going to start with Ryan. Let's talk about your musical influences and kind of what got you into being a musician. Kind of crunch them two together because they usually go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Back when I was like 10, 11 years old, man, my brother made me a playlist and I was listening to it on my iPod. I had like Internal Bleeding, Cradle of Filth, E-Town Concrete, even stuff like that. Old Black Dahlia Murder. So those are a lot of the bands that influenced me as a drummer. Stigmata and Dying Breed too from Troy. They've been a huge influence over the years, man. I also listened to a lot of hip hop from the 90s, a lot of reggae. I'm all over the place, man.
That's not bad though. I mean, it's, makes you more music rounded.
Yeah.
Hey, what about you,
I
bud?
have to say Origin is also a huge influence for drumming.
Origin, is that what you said?
What's that?
Origin?
Origin, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, for sure. Dude, he's just nuts behind the kit, and he's really wanted me to push myself as a drummer.
That's good.
Also,
That's good.
I have to say Adrian from Cradle of Filth, he was one of the original drummers. He's been a huge influence. Cradle of Filth overall, man.
What about you, Drew? Let's go to you.
I really got into punk rock as a young kid. I was like really into like just like fast and like hardcore shit. I just like started with like Bad Brains and like really got into like that early 80s like Minor Threat and fucking Circle Jerks and all that as a kid, and just started like really listening to bass players. I'm kind of a bass player through and through. Like I just like really enjoyed every time I could hear like isolated bass on a track and like feel that real heavy shit. But I went through like a lot of different phases. I'm really into jazz, and like I was fucking listening to Israel Vibration today. Like I love fucking reggae. Ryan and I have bonded a lot on hip hop because we listen to a lot of the same like hardcore, like dark fucking hip hop shit. But I've really been appreciating like a lot more faster, challenging, like death metal shit. But I'm also like I think I'm the only member in this band who likes deathcore, probably. But I like a lot of different like versions of metal that or I'm kind of a new adopter of metal. Even like I really even didn't get into it until like 2013 and shit, where I started just going to shows at Bogies and playing shows, and I just like joined a band then. And I really like a lot of progressive metal too. I really appreciate musicianship more than ever. Social media helps because I just like follow like insane outer space musicians who are just doing crazy shit. But I like a lot of instrumental stuff too. But it's always changing, and I started doing this thing that I really recommend to anyone where I just started actually taking people's recommendations for everything, not just music, but for movies, books. I started like really listening to friends because I had this shitty instinct to be like, yeah, it sounds cool, but then I never check it out. But like these guys, like John will show me bands all the time, and Lenny, I'm like prompting, I'm like, yeah, give me what you're listening to right now, and it usually ends up being like my favorite fucking thing in a couple of weeks. So that's kind of my spiel.
All right, Lenny, you're up.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
So I'm much older than these two. Not John. John's pretty much in the same realm as me, but I'm definitely much older than these guys. I remember my first tape that I got was The Ultimate Sin by Ozzy. My mom was friends with this girl who don't laugh at me.
There's a tape. The tape.
Yeah.
The tape was
It was
what
a
got me.
fucking
Sorry,
cassette,
bro.
bro. I had to fucking rewind it. Couldn't skip. Couldn't fucking. Shh.
Dude, at least it wasn't 8-track though. At least it wasn't.
Yeah. No, it wasn't 8-track. No. So yeah, so that was like, I don't know. Ozzy to this day is like my favorite, musician, vocalist. Like his music, everything in between. Even like I started in like the the 80s stuff, before like, but I went back and got into like Sabbath a bit too, but more of the the 80s Ozzy was my thing. And then from there I think the next thing I really got into was this kid down the street who had a mullet. He was like, "Here, listen to this," and he gave me "Injustice for All" by Metallica, and that was just like, that was a game changer for me. I played that thing so much that I destroyed it. Like, it was, eaten so many times in my machine, and I had to pull it out slowly and do the pencil and put it back in. And I remember one time I was riding my bike and the wind blew the tape out and it was fucking like just streaming behind me. And I was like, no. And I had to, get off the side of the road and, twist the whole thing up. It took me probably like an hour and a half. But
All right,
yeah,
so I got to stop you real quick for a second because you just opened Pandora's box. I'm gonna go back to Drew on this now.
all right.
And Justice for All, because we're talking bass now. We all know historically they basically shut the fucking bass off. There was nothing there. Have you ever heard? It's on YouTube. It's all over the place, but it's called Injustice for Jason.
I've heard that.
They have the whole out, dude. They have the whole album where the bass is pumped the fuck up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It changes the album 1,000%. Like it completely changes the album for you.
For the better.
You got to go check that out.
Word, man. Absolutely. I just fucking saw them a couple weeks ago in Boston for the first time, and it was just like one of the best like live experiences I've ever had. Just seeing them, just legends. I mean, just being able to physically see them play and just feed off the crowd. And they're just so tight. But that's cool. I'll check that out. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely do that. All right, Lenny, we'll go back to you. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, it's that was a good place to interrupt because we definitely got to listen to that shit.
We'll do it right after this.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much where that's where I started, and then so I've always been into metal. Was very big on Pantera. I had like the home videos. That was like that was my thing. And my mom was into that stuff after too. I got her into all that stuff. So that was my biggest, inspiration, growing up, is like I always wanted to, be the front man of the band. And then what really brought me into like the local scene was my friend Rob, my friend Joel, and this kid Bill that I went to high school with. They gave me a couple things. So they gave me a Skinless tape. And it was so one side I think was Skinless, and the other side was Straight Jacket, Tiny's band, local.
Yeah.
So I heard that, and that just changed my whole shit. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I think it was like some years later, out of high school, those same guys, they were like, "Hey, come to a local show with us," because I'd only really been to like concerts and things. So they brought me to a local show. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember, it was called Luna's Underground. It was, you walk down these stairs. It was like an underground, really small dive bar. And we were there, and it was a mixed bill of like hardcore punk and like metalcore bands. And I just remember, I'll never forget the feeling, like just being in there and, everybody was, just friendly to each other, but then would just get in the pit, and they would all beat the shit out of each other, but they'd love it, so it's like that really just that really was the time that that really pulled me in.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest pretty much has been history from there.
All right, John, you're up, bro.
I mean, I listened I listened to a lot of like Pink Floyd and stuff when I was younger. And then I think I had a Pantera CD that I was into here and there. But when I was about 13, I started getting into some heavier stuff. And then when I got into to high school, I think my freshman year, a couple of kids that I went to school with took me to see One King Down in Albany at the QE2, and that was it for me. I saw the energy, and I tried to go back every week whenever QE2 had a show. I'd buy the CDs beforehand at was it Music Shack up the hill, try and learn the words
On Central
and,
Ave.
yep. And then I think I started getting into darker, heavier stuff. I saw Overcast one night, and I had their CD, and it changed everything for me. I became pretty obsessed with Overcast. I would run the CD through my head when I was at school because you couldn't wear headphones. Just going over. I think I even like wrote an email to Brian Fair once, just being like, your lyrics, which is pretty fucked up because the lyrics are super negative. But yeah. So Overcast kind of set me on that path, and then the only way I didn't have many friends that listened to heavy music other than people I knew at hardcore shows, which were much older than me. Sometimes I had to convince other kids that I went to school with, can let your mom let you come to this show with me. I promise we'll be safe. But I would record WVCR had a metal show at night. So I would just record that, go to sleep, wake up next day, and I'd have like Cannibal Corpse, which I'd never heard before. And yeah, so over the years, I had the hardcore stuff and my love for hardcore, but I always had the metal in the background. And lately, the last probably 10 years, I've been pretty heavy into Cannibal Corpse, Cryptopsy, Behemoth, trying to go a little bit more extreme, trying to see how I can push myself more. And it makes it real easy when we have somebody like Ryan, because there's nothing he can't do. So.
Oh, you're welcome, by the way, for those metal shows on VCR.
Oh, that was you?
Well, I did both rock and metal. But yeah, I was there for quite a long time. Yeah.
I had to get my mom on the phone once. It was the contest. If you can actually get your mom on the phone, you can win tickets to Cutthroat. The other Cutthroat, not the one that's playing next week, our local Cutthroat. Yeah, I won tickets, but then, she didn't want to drop me off with the people there. And so I had to convince a kid to come with me, and he ended up being one of my best friends. So.
She threw your ass out the window, didn't she?
What'd she say on the phone?
She said,
they were just like, "Are you really his mom?" And she's like, "Yeah." They're like, "What is he doing up right now?" Fucking no.
That's just bad parenting, ma'am. So we're getting down towards the end of this thing, unfortunately. I could talk to you guys for hours, but let's talk about what's next for you guys. Do you guys have a new album in the works? You guys looking into doing some sort of touring, or?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of songs ready to go that we're hoping to record in the fall. We're going to be working with Shane Frisbee again, because he did such an incredible job on the last one, and he really became like another extension of the band. So we'll be working with him on that. We may do a special little release before that, because we want to keep content coming. But that's a surprise for later. As far as shows, we've got a couple coming up. We're going to announce a weekend run in August pretty soon. And then the hopes are we want to get this stuff recorded before we hit the road again. But we do plan on hitting the road again, and hopefully getting over to Europe and playing wherever we can.
Yep.
Just remember, if you guys are looking for song titles or album titles, anything fuzzy is perfect. Just saying, just put that in the back of your head. Just keep it in the back of your head for there.
We'll see if we find.
I say that to everybody. It never works. So I gotta throw it out there.
We'll have to slip it in there somewhere.
Yeah. Somewhere, I'll take a song as fuzzy as an asshole. Okay, I'm okay with that. So now I'm gonna get into what I call shameless plug time. I'm gonna turn the mics over to you guys one at a time. Have you guys can shout out anybody you want, thank anybody you want, plug anything you want. The mics are yours. So let's start with Ryan, because he's been rather quiet. So we'll pick on him first. Shameless plug time, bro. Go for it.
All right, man. Shout out to Soul Tone Cymbals. I'm endorsed by them. They've been fucking awesome, dude. I've been beating the shit out of the cymbals for a while now, and not a single crack. So they're awesome. Go check them out. Shout out to Jason Bittner, the original drummer from Stigmata. He fucking taught me a lot behind the kit, and he was a huge influence, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to Good Buds too. Shout out to Good Weed, man, for sure. That's cannabis. Shout that out. Homegrown.
Hell yeah.
Whoever else wants it next, you can go ahead.
I'm gonna give some shout outs to some friends and some bands. Shout out to Violence 518. Shout out to Mira, Breathe the Skyline. Shout out to Johnny Booth coming this August with some other great bands. Shout out to Robbie Tabone, one of my musical friends. Shout out to Stephen Page, who just helped me out a lot. This is his clothing line right here, Parasite Clothing. We have a song called Parasite, so I don't even know if you guys know about that. But yeah, you know, he's killing it right now. Shout out to Brick by Brick. Shout out to Lenny, living down the street, working on home projects. Yeah.
Like a garden, or
Well, I helped him build. Well, you know, we
My
built his
fuzzy
deck.
garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plug.
He built. I helped him build this deck in his backyard, and on the back of his house, and we built a railing last week. We're gonna paint some stuff together, but
Dad shit.
real dad shit. It's kind of like the only thing I can think about. Like since buying a house, I'm like, oh, where can a shrub go here? And like it's really the cyclical thought process of how can I improve this space.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
well, I guess it's Lenny's turn now.
Oh god, I hate these. I just fucking forget everybody. Shout out to all right, so I'm just gonna rattle stuff off. Shout out Brick by Brick. Shout out Mike Valente. Shout out Invoke Thy Wrath. Shout out to fucking Oakheart. Shout out Violence 518, rocking our shit.
Yep.
Man, Pittsburgh Hardcore. Shout out Syracuse
Enhancer.
Hardcore. Psycho Enhancer.
315.
Chains of Misery. Shout out to everybody. That's I'm blanking. Shout out to Beer. Shout out to
Undeath. Some of the bands we played. We played some great bands this year. Just since I joined last year, just like really had a great time getting to know bands.
We had too many friends. A lot of people support. A lot of good people.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out to Central Mass Hardcore.
yeah.
Fucking crazy guys.
You guys are stealing all John's. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of the same ones. Mike Valenti's always been real good to us. Brick by Brick, all the bands that are playing that show. Powerhouse, Cutthroat, Violent by Design, Oakheart, Breathless by Dawn, Invoke Thy Wrath, Pure Bliss, Departed, Gloves Off, Mario at Upstate, our Joe at Irish Voodoo, all those. I don't know. Is this
Virginia Beach?
Virginia Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to my band members because they're my best friends. They're my family. They're what I got. Shout out to my dogs. Also, good weed. Shout out to Intrusive, my other band.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Can't forget them. Yeah. Shout out Pyrexia, Undeath, Phobophilic. We haven't played with them, but I've talked with those guys online and they're incredible.
Internal Bleeding.
Yeah.
Kyle. Shout out. Fucking Pyrexia is so fucking heavy. Oh my god. Sorry. Shout out. I love you, Olive and Scout, if you watch this. My daughters.
Shout out
Oh,
everything.
nice. Good touch.
Shout out Be Real in Cypress Hill.
Shout out to Ryan's dick cam he's using right now. Straight from Ryan's dick.
On that note, you guys can check out Concrete. They're going to be live July 8th at Empire Live. You guys can make sure you look for them all over playing live. But this show is going to be killer. It's the Brick by Brick tour kickoff party featuring Cutthroat, Oakland's Powerhouse, Violent by Design, you guys, Oakheart, Breathless by Dawn, and of course the Mighty Brick by Brick, sponsored of course by Nippertown. And boys, let me give you. I'm going to throw out some of your links there so people can get in touch with you guys. If you guys are looking for the boys, you can find them Facebook.com/ConcreteHC. Over on Instagram, it's at ConcreteHC. Almost started reading my own I'm gonna start reading my own links. ConcreteHC.bandcamp.com to get the music. Do you guys have merch by chance? Do you guys have it like
We do.
.bigcartel.com.
Yep, we got ski masks. We got fucking windbreakers with a phenomenal design on the back. Same guy that did the designs for Holy Death. Shout out to them too.
Ooh, they're great.
Yeah, but we got a lot of stuff on there. We've got the windbreakers and the ski masks are going like crazy.
Few
So
t-shirt designs.
if you want those, yeah, grab
DMX
those. Yeah, I got a DMX t-shirt that we put out.
Yeah,
A lot of goodies on there. So go check those out.
Yeah, thank you. Giving us
very cool? So make sure you guys are going to all those links. Support your local music, guys, because that's where it's all at. Go check these guys out. Buy their stuff on Bandcamp. Go to their merch site. Buy their stuff there. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys stopping by. It has been a pleasure. You guys are welcome on the show at any time. You guys got something to talk about, you just drop me a message. Let me know. We'll get you on immediately. All right, boys?
Thank you.
Good. Check out Intrusive with Vomit Forth coming soon.
Absolutely. All right, boys. I appreciate it. And that is Concrete, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, boys.
Good talking.
Talk to you soon. Well, there you go. Concrete interview. Guys, remember, Friday, July 8th, Brick by Brick Tour Kickoff Party featuring LA's own Cutthroat powerhouse from Oakland. Violent by Design. Of course, we just saw Concrete there. Oakheart, Breathless by Dawn, and, of course, the mighty Brick by Brick. That is, again, Friday, July 8th at Empire Live. Make sure you guys are going to check that out. It's going to be a killer show. Can't wait for that. And that's my time for today, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out for this special edition of That Fuzzing Rock Show, this special Friday evening edition of That Fuzzing Rock Show, brought to you by Nippertown. Make sure you guys are checking that out, nippertown.com, Nippertown518 on Facebook. And that's it for me. If you guys are new to the channel, Facebook.com/That Fuzzing Rock Show. You guys can hit the follow button over there. Definitely appreciate that. Like the videos and share it with your friends. Also over on YouTube.com, YouTube.com/That Fuzzing Rock Show. Hit the subscribe button. Smash that little bell. Lets you know when we're going on live every single time. And Instagram and TikTok are at That Fuzzing Rock Show. So we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys again Tuesday. We're doing it again Tuesday night for the mighty powerhouse. I can't wait for that one. That's going to be good. Oakland Hardcore. Excellent interview. Had a lot of fun with this one. So make sure you guys are tuning in Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We'll be back. We'll do the same thing. We'll play a little video that we recorded for everybody. And appreciate you guys hanging out. So that being said, I guess we're going to. You know what? We're not going with Betty. We're not going to go with Betty White this time. We're going to go with something different. You ready?
Get the fuck out of here.
Perfect. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Put this on the books. I'm done. See you.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.